Some watches aren't just tools that tell the time, they are icons that demand respect as soon as they hit the wrist. Whether it's because of groundbreaking design or legendary heritage, certain timepieces rise above trends and hype to become true milestones in horology. I'm Ricardo Hawks, and in today's video we are diving into watches that have earned their place in history, not just for what they are, but for what they represent. So let's get started. Back in 1957, Omega made a move that would quietly reshape the future of watchmaking. That year, the Swiss company unveiled a chronograph that, though originally made for time in laps at the racetrack, would eventually become synonymous with space exploration. That chronograph, the now legendary Speedmaster. At its birth, the Speedmaster wasn't destined for the stars. Its purpose was purely earthbound, designed to help track speed and distance for motorsports enthusiasts. But even in those days, it was innovating. It was the first to move the tachymeter scale from the dial to the bezel, boosting legibility and setting a new standard. Under the hood, it ticked away with a tough hand-wound movement, known for its precision and reliability. Then came the turning point, the 1960s. NASA put several chronographs through grueling tests, simulating the extreme conditions of space, and Omega Speedmaster came out on top, beating competitors like Rolex and Lange. That victory earned it a spot on the wrists of Apollo 11 astronauts, including Buzz Aldrin, who of course wore his Speedmaster while walking on the moon. From that moment on, the Speedmaster became a symbol of not just precision timekeeping, but of human ambition and exploration. Over the decades, countless versions have appeared, but the iconic choice remains the same, the hand-wound professional model with its black dial and domed tessellite crystal. This is not just a watch, it's a piece of history strapped to the wrist. Next up, we have an Italian brand famed for its high-end jewellery and led by a designer with a background in automotive aesthetics. Bulgari and its design chief, Fabrizio Stagliani, have completely shaken up the world of ultra-thin watches. Over the past 10 years, their bold approach has shattered 8 world records, the most recent being the mind-bending Octo Finissimo, a mechanical watch just 1.8 millimeters thick. For context, that's barely more than a US quarter. Despite its wafer-thin profile, this marvel contains 170 individual parts and can run for 50 hours without winding. Make no mistake, although this looks fragile and toy-like, there is an immense amount of innovation and precision at work here. The Octo Finissimo isn't just about showing off how much can fit into so little space, although let's be honest, it's definitely a flex. What sets it apart visually is its architectural presence. While many luxury brands stick to minor tweaks, Bulgari opted for a clean break. The watch's angular, streamlined form feels more like a futuristic device than a vintage heirloom. This distinct identity has only grown stronger with each new creation. One could say it's more than just a watch, it's an evolving expression of modern Italian creativity. And with that, of course, comes a lot of respect. Okay, moving on, and in the early 1970s, a bold request was made by 3 executives to George Golay, the managing director at Audemars Piguet. They sought something groundbreaking and new, a luxury stainless steel sports watch, an idea that had never been explored before. To bring this vision to life, Golay reached out to a young Swiss designer, Gerald Genter. What Genter then delivered would become one of the most iconic designs in watchmaking history, the Royal Oak. Debuting at the Swiss Watch Fair in 1972, the original Royal Oak forever changed the landscape of Swiss horology. It combined a striking octagonal bezel, which was rumoured to be inspired by a diving helmet, with an integrated bracelet and a textured dial. Inside, it housed a slim automatic movement that displayed just the time and date. At its launch, the Royal Oak was priced several times higher than a typical Rolex Submariner, and even today it remains a lot more premium when it comes to price. While watches like the Patek Philippe Nautilus followed suit, the Royal Oak was the true pioneer of the luxury sports watch genre, largely due to its perfect timing and innovative design. Today, Audemars Piguet's Royal Oak remains the cornerstone of their collection, with variations ranging from ultra-thin models to highly complicated ones. Known for being hard to find at retail and coveted by collectors around the world, the Royal Oak's allure continues to grow stronger with each passing year. As scuba diving gained traction after World War II, watchmakers recognized the need for a durable, easy-to-read timepiece that could withstand the pressures of underwater exploration. Specifically, a watch that could help divers track their time underwater and plan decompression stops. By 1953, several brands had released prototypes, but it was the Rolex Submariner that captured the world's attention with its elegant yet practical design, ultimately becoming one of the most iconic watches ever made. The Submariner's first reference, launched in 1953, has an uncanny resemblance to the modern-day model. A round stainless steel case, a black dial with luminous markers, a rotating bezel for tracking time, and the classic oyster bracelet. Over the years, Rolex have produced more than 4 million Rolex Submariners by 2020, and today acquiring one at retail is nearly impossible. What's particularly striking is how the essence of the original design has remained remarkably consistent across generations. Originally intended as a tool watch for divers and military personnel, the Submariner gained a much more luxurious reputation in the 1970s when versions in gold and two-tone steel were introduced. While Rolex still manufactures stainless steel models, very few people actually use them for diving anymore, as dive computers have long surpassed mechanical watches for underwater timekeeping. Despite this, the Submariner's status has only grown, and its rich history, along with its timeless aesthetic, means it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. During World War I, Louis Cartier, a then young soldier struggling with health issues, found himself in a non-combat role. However, during a visit to the front lines in 1916, he is said to have had an epiphany that would lead to the creation of one of the most iconic timepieces in history, the Tank. By the spring of 1917, after being excused from military service due to his inability to drive, Cartier was free to bring his vision to life. Inspired by the formidable military tanks that instilled fear during the war, the tank's design featured vertical lugs meant to mimic the treads of a tank. What might seem a simple rectangular watch today was, in its time, a profound representation of a pivotal moment in history. Beyond the wartime connection, the Tank was a clear precursor to the Art Deco movement, which would define post-war design. Its crisp lines, integrated strap, Roman numerals, and a winding crown with a cabochon sapphire all spoke to the elegance and innovation of the era. These elements not only solidified the Tank's lasting appeal, but also ensured its place in the world of luxury watches for decades to come. It's no wonder this iconic watch has been worn by figures such as John F. Kennedy and Princess Diana. Okay, next up, and during World War II, Rolex made an extraordinary gesture, allowing Allied prisoners of war to write directly to the company to request a watch, which would then be sent to the prisoner of war camp. One of the most remarkable letters, signed by Rolex co-founder Hans Willdorf, even included a request that the recipient not think of settlement until after the war. These special chronographs would eventually evolve into the iconic pre-Daytona models of the 1950s and 1960s. But it wasn't until 1963 that Rolex would release what would be known as the Le Mans watch, a timepiece that would soon take on the legendary name, the Rolex Cosmograph Daytona. Inspired by the famous Daytona International Speedway in Florida, this simple hand-wound stainless steel chronograph would eventually become one of the world's most sought-after timepieces. Over its 60-plus year history, the Daytona has seen many iterations, from stainless steel to precious metals, hand-wound to automatic, and featuring different dial styles like the beloved Panda and the rare exotic dial. There have even been special versions created for Middle Eastern royalty. Despite these variations, the essence of the Daytona remains unchanged. This is, at its core, a tool watch designed for racing. With its dual chronograph pushers, tachymeter scale bezel, triple register chronograph dial, and the signature oyster bracelet, the Daytona is unmistakable from across the room. Today, however, owning one is no easy feat. Much like the Submariner, Royal Oak, and Nautilus, the Daytona is in such high demand that it is so hard to get hold of. But that hasn't deterred watch enthusiasts worldwide from trying to add this legendary chronograph to their collections. Next up, we have the Patek Philippe 1518, which holds a special place in horological history as the first ever production wristwatch to feature both a perpetual calendar and a chronograph. Released in 1941, only 281 examples of this watch were made, making it not only a crucial milestone in watchmaking, but also a rare gem highly coveted by collectors. What elevates the 1518 beyond its historical significance is the extraordinary combination of rarity and complexity. This watch isn't just extremely rare, it's a masterpiece. Despite its modest 35mm case size, the 1518's proportions are timeless and graceful. But it's the dial where the true magic happens, with its complex functions organised in a way that's both intuitive and visually harmonious. Today, the Patek Philippe 1518 is regarded by many as the holy grail of watches. In 2016, a stainless steel version of the 1518 sold at auction for a staggering $11 million. With only 4 known examples in stainless steel, the 1518 remains a rare and highly prized collector's item. Few watches capture the essence of the golden age of Swiss watchmaking quite like the 1518, and its place in the heavens of the horological world is not really debatable. So if you see this watch on somebody's wrist, know that they know how special this timepiece is. Last on this list is a timepiece that played a pivotal role in the resurgence of Lange and Söhne, Germany's prestigious niche watchmaker. After the Soviets took control of East Germany after World War II, the century-old watchmaker ceased operations. However, one determined member of the family was resolute in reviving the company's legacy. Following the reunification of Germany, Walter Lange embarked on the task of resurrecting the brand in 1990. He secured financing and crafted a new product line, and eventually debuted 4 new watches in 1994, one of which was the Lange 1. Its distinctive asymmetrical dial, combined with the traditional watchmaking aesthetics, quickly became a hit, establishing the brand as a leading force in high-end horology. The Lange 1 has signature design elements: the unique dial layout, the oversized off-center date window, and the beautifully crafted movement. This piece has not only become a symbol of the brand, but also a model widely imitated by others. This watch's success lies in its blend of traditional craftsmanship with a modern twist, a rare balance that only a few watchmakers have successfully achieved. Okay, so that brings this video to a close. As we've seen, iconic timepieces earn their place in history through a combination of craftsmanship, innovation, and story. As time goes on, their value and respect will hopefully only continue to grow, with enthusiasts and new generations of watch lovers appreciating them for decades to come. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and like the video to keep up to date with my videos, and I will see you next time.